Shalom. First off, I want to give all honors, all glory, and all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone GMS, who taught us this word, the wisdom and truth and the knowledge. Shalom to the elect of Israel, the chosen, which begins with the 144,000, 12,000 out of each of the 12 tribes of Israel, and to all you Akim priests in his word for the edification of the elect and of the body. I pray that peace and mercy is bestowed upon you by Yahweh by Shemal Shai as we enter into the last days of Babylon. This is the brother Halal from the Great Millstone branch of Chicago. And this lesson will be based upon a false claim made by this man by the name of Jim Green. This lesson will be a response to the elder Manata Zakba down in GMS, South Carolina. Always coming with edifying lessons, getting on these scoffers and people that bear false witness and coming with these false breakdowns. So I'm going to let this video play, and may this lesson be informal and edifying to the elect in the ministry.
The Edomites were created, well, they're real people, but the continuing saga of the Edomites is here to give you an evil boogeyman to attack. They need you to believe this lie, to harness your hatred and your anger and your racism, because that's what powers their movement. Are you understand what I'm saying? There are no more Edomites.
So he made a claim saying that, the Edomites no longer exist. And, with us being given the full understanding of these breakdowns, we know that claim is false. And not only is Esau Edom, the seed, the descendants, the descendants of Esau Edom still walking the earth, it was prophesied that they would be the last people to rule the earth before the return of Yahweh Shai, who this man would probably call Christ. So, I wanted to go to the comments. A brother had left a comment. What was that? Isaiah chapter 8 and 20. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak. It says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Right? So when you speak, the word of the Lord out of these scriptures, you have to speak according to the word, man. So if you're not speaking according to the righteous breakdowns, speaking in truth, there's no light in you. And we know that the seed of Esau Edom still exists. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Let's see, Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 15. It says, matter of fact, no, it's Ecclesiastes 4 and 15. Salakia. It says, Ecclesiastes 4 and 15, I consider all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end to all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. So all the nations, that existed, in the ancient world, Elam, Ishmael, the nations, the children of men, which are the heathen nations, the children of the wicked, which of course are the Edomites, and the sons of God, who are us, the Israelites. All those nations are still here today, playing out their roles upon earth, whether they're a vessel of honor or a vessel of dishonor. And Esau Edom is still very much alive in the earth, and his vibration is felt, man. So the fact that he said that Esau Edom is no longer here really showed you how little knowledge he has on these scriptures. But let's get the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. And it says, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. And that right there is symbolic. Esau being the elder twin and Jacob being the younger twin that came after. Salaki, continuing on, it says, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right, so breaking that all down, Esau, Edom, is the nation that was prophesied to rule in the end of the world before the return of Yahweh Shai. And after that happens, then comes what? The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Yahweh Bashemal Shai, in which Yahweh Shai will rule, and his people, the Israelites, will rule under him, as servants of Yahweh Bashemal Shai. And that's that, what's that? That's that Daniel chapter 2 in verse 44. It says, and in the days of these kings, right, in the days of the world leaders of the earth, the nations that rule the earth, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It says, in the days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So Yahweh Bashemal Shai, Yahweh Shai is returning to this earth to rend the rulership out of the hand of Esau, Edom, because they are the last nation that's ruling this earth currently right now. When you look at this earth, the things that are in it, the vibration of Esau is everywhere. That's why these Edomites have military bases set up all over the world. They cut off a lot. They cut off aid to countries that they choose. In America, which is the main stronghold of Esau, Edom, is always regarded as what? The melting pot of all cultures. So Esau, Edom is that last nation that's ruling the earth. But fortunately, for our sakes, Yahweh Shai is going to make his return to get rid of all that, man, and set up a righteous kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And that's going to come through war and through bloodshed. So I'm going to end this off with the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 1, and it says, and it came to pass, after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind across the sea that had moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man, was this talking about Yahweh Shai? It says, lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. So when Yahweh Shai returns, man, these nations of the earth, these militaries that are going to attempt to fight against Yahweh Shai, like it says in, I believe, Revelation chapter 19, when it talks about the armies of the earth gathering together to fight him that sat upon the white horse, they're going to be in fear when they look and see Yahweh Shai. They're going to be in fear and trembling. Verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they that burned that heard his voice, like as the earth falleth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number of the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. And those are referring to the militaries that are going to attempt to fight Yahweh Shai, with their tanks, the military grade weapons, AR-15s, and all those weapons. They're going to attempt to defeat Yahweh Shai, but it's all going to be to no avail. Verse 6, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And this great mountain is ultimately talking about a large chariot, which the world would refer to as a UFO, an unidentified flying object, or a spaceship, as the Elder Gabar likes to call it in his lessons. Verse 7, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, but I could not. So this chariot was so large that he couldn't even see, the region. He couldn't even see the end of the chariot. That's how large it was, man. Like that chariot off of Independence Day. And in these movies, these modern day movies with these spaceships and aircrafts, they get those movies from the scriptures. And they know that when the Lord returns, he's going to come back with those chariots, man. Let's see, verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So these nations of the earth, these militaries are going to be afraid when they see the return of Yahweh Shai. But the Lord is going to put the spirit in them to fight anyway. Because Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. He loves a good fight. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And that's referring to the laser beams coming from the chariot, man. That's going to destroy all those who come against him. So this is going to happen very soon. And Esau, Edom, is going to be ruling at the end of that, man. Which is going to make way for what? The kingdom of Yahweh Shai Shai. And that's when Jacob's kingdom, like I said, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So after Esau falls, the seed of Israel is going to rule, with Yahweh Shai being the head of that. So I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all honors, all glory, and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone GMS, Ruel, Shalom, Kwame Sharala, and the Bible Ball.